Nice to meet you.
Nice
I'm
to meet
Madison
you.
Dorling. Have a seat.
Thank you.
So, before we get started, I just wanted to take a second to go over a couple of things with you.
Okay.
I normally keep just a little timer with me so I can keep track of how long we've been talking for, make sure we're progressing correctly and addressing things that need to be addressed in a timely manner just so that we can help you in the long run.
Okay.
I also, if it's okay, I always like to keep a notepad and paper with me just so if you say something that sticks out to me, I don't want to interrupt you, so I'll just jot it down and bring it back up when you're finished, just because I don't want to have important information slip, because
Okay.
we're here to help you and I don't want to lose information.
And will those notes stay confidential?
100%.
Okay.
Speaking of which, I do have a consent to treatment and a confidentiality form that I need
Okay.
you to just read over and then we can talk about it afterwards, so just take a second to read that over.
Right.
Great, so I just want to highlight a key point there. It does say that everything we do is 100% confidential unless you disclose that you want to harm yourself or another, if a child's in danger in any way, or if you disclose that you've committed a crime that hasn't already been addressed. Other than that, everything we talk about, every note I take will go in your file. Everything we do is in a file, stays there for 10 years, no one sees it, no, it's never brought up.
Perfect. All right.
Great. Okay, so let's get started. What brings you in today?
Well, I am here today because I recently went to the doctor just for my regular physical I go to every year, and he mentioned that my blood pressure is really high. And I guess I'm just frustrated and confused. I don't really know why my blood pressure would be so high. He seems to think it's because I'm stressed out. I can't really see that. I keep busy, but I don't think I'm stressed out. And so I just don't really know what to do from here.
Okay, so you're having some confusion, it seems. Do you feel like you experience stress regularly?
I wouldn't call it stress. I would think I like to keep myself busy. I don't like to sit still. I do have a busy schedule, but I don't necessarily consider it stress. It's more just keeping busy.
Just hectic a little bit, it's a
Yeah.
lot going on. Okay, do you think you could run me through just a typical day in your shoes?
Absolutely. So I usually get up around 4:30, 5 a.m. And I do my morning jog or workout. Then I come home and I shower and I have my breakfast and get ready for the day. And by that time it's around 7 o'clock, and then I check all my emails and I print off all my class notes and I get my bag and lunch ready for the day. And then I go to school every day, so usually that's about 4 or 5 hours out of my day. And then I work 5 days a week. After school, I waitress, so I'm busy there. I'm always running around, that sort of thing. And then by the time I get home, it's usually around 8 or 9. Sometimes if I'm off early, I'll go to another exercise class. I really like Zumba, that's really fun. Or sometimes I'll go rock climbing with my friends, or just something to fill my evening. And then by the time I get home, it's usually around 11 o'clock, and then I start over again. So that's usually my day.
Wow, there's a lot going on there.
Yeah, I like to keep busy. I don't like to sit still. That's a big pet peeve of mine. So I want to make every minute count.
For sure, that's great. How do you feel though, being told that your life, doing the things that you like, is affecting your health? How does that make you feel?
To be honest, I was almost offended by it. I mean, I don't think I don't know. I'm busy and I like to stay busy, and I don't think it's stressful, and I don't think it's necessarily harmful. I don't know. I just have a hard time believing that my lifestyle is causing me physical ailments like high blood pressure. I just have a hard time connecting those two, to be honest with you.
Yeah. No, it's for sure. It's hard to. There's a bit of a contradiction though, isn't there? Like, you know, you're living a life that you love and you're being told that it's dangerous for you.
Yeah,
That must be hard.
it is hard to grasp that because I'm not hurting anyone, you know, I'm a good person and I keep active and I take care of myself, and to do all these good things for myself and still end up with high blood pressure, it's hard for me to fathom, to be honest with you.
Yeah, you seem a little frustrated by it,
I am
a little upset.
Yeah, I'm a little ticked off, to be honest with you. Yeah.
Was there anything that you think you could do to help the situation? Like you say you have a busy schedule and your doctor's saying that might be affecting it. Is there anything in your schedule that you think you could, like what do you absolutely feel like you need to do every day? What do you have to do?
Well, I really feel exercise is very important to me. I love working out. That's a really big part of my life, and so that needs to stay a priority for me, and it always will be. School is really important for me as well. I'm in a degree program at the moment, and I spend a lot of time working on school, doing homework, so that's a huge priority for me. Also, I need to work during school. I have no choice but to waitress because I have bills to pay, I have my apartment, I have my tuition, I just have a lot of things to deal with, and so I can't afford not to work. So it's difficult trying to pick something that isn't important to me.
Because does everything seem very important?
It does, it really does. All those things are very meaningful to me and something that I want to continue doing.
Okay. You mentioned you like to jog earlier?
Yes, yeah. I love jogging.
And Zumba, like all these activities that you mentioned are very upbeat activities.
They are.
Do you think maybe that could be a factor influencing your blood pressure? Is it your choice of activity?
It might be. Yeah, I never really thought of that before, but I guess it would be, considering they're all fast-paced things. I never actually really thought of doing anything else. Like, I guess there's yoga and that sort of thing. I don't know. I'm gonna have to look into that because that's something I want to keep exercise a part of my life. That maybe doing something a little lower pace would help.
Yeah.
It'd be a compromise, I think. So I'll definitely have to look into that.
No, for sure. It's great, and I think it's great that you're exercising. It's very good for you. You obviously are very health conscientious, which is why this situation is probably very hard for you.
Exactly. That's like I said. I feel like I'm doing everything right, and yet he's telling me I'm not doing it right. I don't know where I'm going wrong. It's very frustrating.
For sure. Do you mind if I ask if high blood pressure runs in the family?
Not that I know of. No. Which even makes it more weird. I mean, if I knew about it, then I would take more steps to help out. But I honestly, it's never really come up within my family. It's never something I've ever worried about before until this physical I had a few weeks ago, and he said it's something that I need to take care of, and I just don't know what to do.
Well, that's maybe something you could look into too, because obviously right now you seem to be blaming yourself, and some of the anger and frustration you have seems to be reflected at yourself.
Yeah.
So maybe explore the option that maybe it's a genetic thing, and maybe it's not totally your fault.
Right, it's something I can't help. Yeah, that's a good idea.
Because often things like this aren't totally our fault.
Right. Yeah, and I don't feel like it's 100% my fault. It must be something else, because I feel like I just do everything that I possibly can to stay healthy, and yet I'm not, and it's frustrating. So I think it would be beneficial to look into my family medical history. I think that would be helpful.
All right. You also mentioned that you prepare for school in the morning. Like, I want to try to work on how we can maybe rearrange some things in your daily life to make it less stressful for you, less hard on you, a little less hectic. Is there anything that you could do, like, the day before, like the night before? I know that you work and, maybe there's some stuff you could do the night before to prepare for the next day in between to help you out the next morning. Maybe calm things down a little.
That's a good idea. My evenings are spent mainly working, and that's something that I need to continue, but I also do a lot of socializing. Like I said, I go to my exercise classes, or I do activities with my friends, and maybe instead of going out every night, maybe I can take that time to prepare for the next day so that I don't have to get up as early or things like that. So that's a good suggestion as well. I think maybe by getting ready the night before, that would allow me to start off the day at a slower pace and not be so stressed out.
Yeah, no, for sure. And socializing's great, but what's the minimum you would like to be able to socialize during the week?
At least 3 times a week, for
Okay.
sure. Yeah.
So maybe you could schedule 3 nights a week with your friends and just take some of the pressure off. Do you think there's anything else you could maybe not eliminate, but reduce?
I guess I could probably cut back on some of the shifts at work. I find that I hate to sit still, and so whatever free time that I would have, I like to fill with activities and things. So most nights, I could probably cut back on a few shifts here and there, maybe 1 or 2 a week. I'm doing fine financially because I do work a lot, but maybe it'd be beneficial for me to cut back a bit and just take some time to relax.
Yeah, maybe that would help.
A thing though that I find difficult is I almost don't know how to relax. I've never been the type of person just to go home and have a bubble bath and read a book. I don't find that beneficial. I feel like I just like to be productive, and I find just sitting around isn't productive. So
Yeah.
I don't really know. I don't know how to go about making my life a little more relaxed.
Well, you suggested yoga. I think that'd be a good place to start.
I think that would be a really good place to start as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And a relaxing life doesn't necessarily mean a boring life.
That's true.
That's something that, I want to make sure you understand.
Absolutely. Yeah, that's something that I've always associated just, hanging around, lounging around the house as being lazy or something. And I guess it doesn't necessarily mean that. It doesn't.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How do you think your life would be if you cut out everything and how do you feel just thinking of not doing anything?
It makes me quite anxious, to be honest with you.
Yeah?
Because I've
Okay.
never been the type of person just to go home after school and just, lounge around the house for 6 hours and munch and, watch TV. That's never been a priority of mine. It's never been something that I wanted to pursue. And I've always, I don't know, I guess my parents were always really goal-oriented,
Okay.
very driven. They always instilled in my brother and I that you need to take every opportunity you can and do the best that you can at all times. And they were, as a family, we never just hung around on a Saturday night and watched movies. We always were out doing activities, or we were always enrolled in programs and sports and that sort of thing. We never had downtime as a family. So I guess just growing up in that environment, I've never thought of anything different.
So do you think, and I'm just paraphrasing, just correct me if I'm wrong, do you feel like you have to stay busy because that's the life that you were raised in? Like that's how you were raised?
Absolutely, I definitely think that. I think if my mom ever caught me just staying in my pajamas, not having showered and not having gone out for the day, she'd probably think I was a slob. I think
Okay.
I do value my parents' opinion very strongly, and I take that to heart, what they say, and I really believe that they would feel disappointed in me if I wasn't doing something with my life.
So there's a fear of disappointing.
Absolutely, yeah.
Okay, so just overall, is it safe to say that you have this need to constantly be doing something for fear that if you're not, you will disappoint your parents?
I guess so.
Is that it?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I guess I've never really thought of it that way, but it does make sense because my biggest fear is letting down my parents and them thinking that they raised a loser, lazy person, that's not how I want to be perceived by my parents. So, but at the same time, I guess, I can't do everything all the time.
Mm-hmm.
I need some downtime. I guess maybe that's why the doctor thinks I need to chill out, is because it is having an effect on me, So, yeah.
So I just want to ask, I know you said you worry about what your parents are going to think of you, but what do you think of yourself? How do you see yourself?
I hold myself in a very high standard. I like to be physically fit. I like to be social. I like to be a role model for people around me. I just like to be perceived as someone that has their stuff together, knows what they're doing, knows where they're going in life. I want people to look at me and say, wow, she has her stuff together. You know, she's doing something. She's going places in life. That's something that I find really important.
Do you see yourself that way?
I feel like the only way I see myself as that is if I'm doing something constantly.
Okay.
I feel like I only meet that goal of myself of being the best person I can be. That's only met when I'm filling my day full of things to do, when I'm constantly busy, when I'm, pushing myself to be the best person I can be. That's when I feel like I've met that goal.
Okay. So when you're sitting still, is there a bit of a decline in self-esteem, do you think?
Absolutely. I feel like sometimes when I sit, when I do have those rare moments when I sit around, I feel like, I guess it lets me think about myself. And I'm not a big fan of thinking and self-reflecting about myself. And so I guess maybe I fill my time to avoid those situations.
Okay. I think the best way to address that is to get you to sit still and get you to fully feel your emotions, because suppressing can be very dangerous for us.
Yeah.
So I want you for next time, let's reschedule a week from today.
Absolutely. I would really like to come back for another session.
Okay, good. I really want to keep seeing you. I think that there's some good opportunity here. Because clearly, so I just want to summarize our session, make sure I got everything. You like to keep busy.
Yes.
It seems to be affecting your health, according to your doctor. That's his hypothesis. You worry that if you don't have a busy schedule, if you're not constantly keeping busy, that you will be disappointing your family.
Yeah.
You also feel badly about yourself when you're not keeping busy. You feel like you're not being the best person that you can possibly be.
Yeah.
And those are definitely things that I want to keep talking about. I want to keep digging. We got really far today. Really far.
I would love to be able to sit down and chill out, but I feel like I can't let myself do that yet. And so I want to delve deeper into this situation and find techniques that will help me be able to do that. That's something that I really want to do.
For sure. I know first of all, I want you to start practicing positive self-talk. If ever you're sitting still and you start thinking negatively, I want you to cut it off and say, I'm proud of myself. Because you're doing great. You're working, you're in school, you're doing good, you're doing really good, and it's important to acknowledge that.
Yeah, I guess so, because there's a lot of people that can't do what I'm doing, and I think I'm doing the best that I can right now.
Yeah, and that's all anyone can ever ask for.
Absolutely.
Just do the best. Okay, so it was very nice to see you. I'll see you in 1 week, okay?
Perfect. Thank you so much.
Thank you for coming in. It was good to see you.
You too. Thank you.